So I've often thought about this because I enjoyed the band so much. And I don't quite know when I first started to hear them, but I've always wanted someone to hear the band the way I think it should be heard. So today I want to talk about the songs and maybe some of the albums that I would show a person who doesn't know the Arctic Monkeys. I definitely start off with either Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, or AM. With Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, that's going in the direct way the albums came out. So that could be a fun introduction into the band, or I could introduce them to the more popular songs first and slowly bring them into the more unique and niche songs throughout the entire time I'm gonna introduce them to songs. But I think the way I would do it is kind of a combo of the two. I'd definitely start off with Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, but I'd also introduce them to some more popular AM songs like Do I Wanna Know and Are You Mine? Because if you're a fan, you have to hear Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, just to see how the band started. And if you hear this album first, you'll definitely enjoy what they then became. After all that, I'd probably go with Favorite Worst Nightmare because it follows the order that the albums came out, but it's also a super good second introduction into the band. They've definitely evolved on this album, but it's also kind of the same sound, so it isn't a huge shift from Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not. Next, I'd definitely go with Humbug and Suck It and See. Probably Humbug first, since it follows the album order, but if I started by showing them AM, I'd definitely play Suck It and See because it's a super good precursor to AM, and you can definitely hear that connection. Humbug is a darker, amazing sound, and if you're hearing the band for the first time, it's a great introduction into how they might change later. After that, I'd show them Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino and The Car, since they sound very different from the other albums. I think this could be a big shock and even a turnoff for a person who has only heard the popular songs. That's why I'd play songs beforehand like Crying, Lightning, and The Jeweler's Hands. If you introduce these songs first, the shift into the spacey lounge sound shouldn't come as a big shock. But with all that being said, if it were completely up to me, I'd honestly just throw them straight into The Car and Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. The only problem is that it's not a very welcoming sound if you aren't a fan or if you aren't ready for change. If you go into it expecting the same sound, you'll be very surprised, and you might not even like the album. So that's how I would introduce a person to the Arctic Monkeys, starting with where they began, showing how they evolved, and giving a taste of their more experimental side. There's no perfect way to do this, but this is the way I think it captures the journey of the band the best. If you're new to them, I hope this almost gives you a roadmap to explore their songs. And if you're a fan already, then maybe you can go check these albums out again, and it can be a nice reintroduction. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out the other videos in this 7-day challenge I'm doing, and I'll see you in the next one.